Hello, welcome back to Oolykee Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Mod Monday. Do you want to build a Middle Eastern Soviet Republic? Check out how. Okay, so let's start. Disclosure, there's a lot of mods out there. This is just my favorites, personal measurement, no quality or other stuff related in this. And also there are some of them that I think you guys will find interesting even if I'm not gonna be making them. Hopefully it's gonna be interesting for you. Anyway, let's get started. First, chemical plant. Mr. Rob's 074 chemical plant based on a real building in Lublin, Poland. Employs 250 people, requires 3 tons of gravel, 3.5 tons of wood, 3.3 tons of crops, and 5 tons of oil to produce 3.4 tons of chemicals per day when fully staffed. That's a lot. Okay, so the difference between this chemical factory and the vanilla one that we have, let's check it real quickly. We should have it around here. Would be that it produces a little bit more chemicals than the one that we have, than the one that we have over here. So, but I'm checking the, yeah, it will be more or less the same. The odds, the difference in materials that you need to build these chemicals. It's a little bit of a bigger footprint, but it's not 4 times bigger because this is how much more it produces resource-wise. Like I said, I love Rob's work because he does extremely realistic buildings from real life that are actually existing and there, mainly in Poland. And yeah, this is a really nice mod, and I definitely will be using this one. Right, the star of the show. That would be Arab/Middle Eastern pack. This is made by Mr. 66th Private Ternet 18 CZ. This is a pack built from a previous game that 3 Division actually made. It was called Air Mission Hind. So this is from this game. The textures were taken from there, but you have everything that you need to build your community, Middle Eastern community. Also, there are guidelines how you can use some of the maps there. There are textures that you can use, different textures of roads. I will not be showing that. I have reasons. And also there's a map, a perfect map made a year and a half ago, I believe. It would be Central Asian Soviet Republic, and it's based on the Caspian Sea border. It's quite interesting map. I checked it out. It's really good. Since it's not in the last 7 days, I won't be presenting it. It's a little bit older, but still, a link to this mod. If you go to this mod in the description of the video, you will see how you can change the texture, so every map will look like it's a desert map for you, and will give you an option to build an Arab Soviet Republic. Okay, is that outrageous? No, I don't think so. We actually discussed this. A lot of countries in the Middle East had, let's call it, similar socialist governments. To name few, even Iraq, Syria, and Egypt and Libya. They were in their own respectful. Most of them were even allies with the Soviet Union, so they had similar models in their secularity and stuff like that. Anyway, so this is something that you can have if you want to have your own Arab Soviet Republic. You can now. Okay, couple of things I want to mention. A lot of buildings are the same, even though they have different purpose. For example, this is the vehicle depot. We have actually nothing here, but I can buy a couple of. Let's go for these longer trolley buses. You can see how it actually looks. They're a little bit longer. I intentionally bought it like that so you can see how it looks. We have normal trucks here. This is a distribution office. We have a hospital. Again, you should have here a couple of ambulances, fire department as well. You can see that they're more or less the same building, but it doesn't change the fact that it's useful. It does the purpose. It's a little bit on a small side. I don't know where they would be filling all the paperwork in, but that being said, the rest of it looks just really, really nice. Most of the models as well are doubling as houses. The quality is 58%, 55% here for the smaller one. You have bigger houses with 86%. You can see how they look like. This is for 22 people living in here. Their whole huge variety. Yeah, even a pub, Middle Eastern pub, yes. You have even a pub, you have mosques, or in this case they're just named cathedrals, even though, well, they would be mosques, I believe, no minarets in this case. We have some old city houses. This is something that I would love to use. We have, as you can see, a lot of different types of houses. Some of them can house more people than others. So you can see here 48, 35, 45 people, 42, and here 36. So it definitely, you can build a nice big society with these buildings. Of course, there are multiple different options for fire department, for example. You can see here. Can we see the trucks over here? Well, they're in there. Yeah, we can. They're in there. You have the grocery store. This is parking lots, for example. You have the grocery stores. Let me try to find it. I don't want to do, and some of them are decorations that you can build bazaars and stuff. These are, for example, decorations. So yeah, I won't go into details in every single building we have, but trust me, you have a lot of buildings. You have the whole range. I believe more or less everything is covered, so heads up on that. Check it out, description, read how you can get your own Middle Eastern sand looking maps as well. It's in the description. It's linked. It's in the description of the mod, not in the description of the video. Anyway, time to move on. Just not to be biased, because I like Rob's work and I like this magnificent new mods that we actually have. Some of them you're gonna see are quite iconic as well. This is my favorite. Straight away I'm gonna go for favorite. I have no idea why we didn't have this from the beginning. Path substation. This is a simple electricity substation that doesn't have a road connection. Perfectly reasonable thing to have in my book. And yes, this one doesn't have a road connected to it. It just has a path. A fire department can access it if there's any issues, and it doesn't cost arm and a leg when you're building it. So this is my favorite mod from this Mod Monday. I'm gonna read a sentence or two about it, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Ferrous 59 is the mod maker here. A power substation that has pedestrian connection instead of road connection nodes. Construction officer will not use this substation to construct power lines because it does not have a road access. If the other end of the power lines does not have a road access, power lines will need to be bought with rubles or dollars. Okay, this is kind of normal thing. I have several buildings or these kind of buildings. They can be constructed. These buildings will be constructed by construction office, but the buildings connected to it, like these power cables, won't be constructed by it. It's same situation with the heat exchangers and the conveyor belt towers that we have. It's more or less similar everywhere. So hopefully you will have road access from the other side, and then it's going to be created, and you can always, if there's a part of line that is not created, or if it's separate, cut into pieces, you can either finish it on your own, or you can rebuild the whole line starting from the other side where you have road access, and then they will construct it from that side. Anyway, this is my favorite mod I'm gonna be using this everywhere from now on. This is just what I needed. Anyway, Ferrous 59, description, path, substation. Leningradskaya Hotel, made by Raytheon. Raytheon is the quite famous modder and makes really wonderful mods, but I'm gonna read a little bit. It's a long description of this mod. There are actually two buildings here, but they are quite versatile. So, Leningradskaya Hotel, 5 stars. This mod contains a hotel building made from the photo of Leningradskaya Hotel, which is located in Moscow, as well as additional buildings without collisions, which you can insert into the hotel, thereby increasing the number of meters in it. Characteristic: the main building, 120 workers, minimum capacity of 767 tourists, storage 35 tons of food and alcohol, 7 tons of meat, additional buildings 70 workers, minimum capacity 440 tourists, storage 17 tons of food and alcohol, 3.5 tons tons of meat. Both buildings have 5-star attractiveness. Such a huge hotel in a style of Stalinist emperor is worth of your capital. Subscribe subscribe if you want to. Okay, so there's a history about these buildings. I'm not gonna go through the history. This is one of the Seven Sisters. I don't know if you know what it is. Seven Sisters is 7 buildings in Moscow that are pretty much similar design. One of them would be Lomosov University, I believe, and then you have Leningradskaya Hotel. Is it the Hotel Ukraine, I think? Don't quote me on this. I'm not an expert in all of them. I just know that they exist. So it's made out of this kind of base part, and it's made as a hotel. Now, hotel is the collision hotel. You cannot build it anywhere but like empty ground where you want to place like a normal building. But the second building here, it doesn't have collisions. You can do whatever you want with it. So if you play your cards right, saying that correctly, you can actually build whatever you want. So for example, you have this Lomosov University. It would be much bigger than this is, for example. I wouldn't really claim that I'm gonna make anything looking like Lomosov University, but it would be something like this, and then just repeat it 4 times on all 4 sides, and that would be about it. I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna check how it looks when it's built, but yeah, I'm not an expert. Right, I do first of all disclosure. I apologize for not mentioning this. This is not Lomosov but Lomonosov. Lomonosov was a Russian scientist who lived in 18th century. He was a writer, but also he was a scientist, and the most contributions he had in literal education science. I'm reading off Wikipedia now. Among the discoveries was atmosphere of Venus and low conservation of mass in chemical reactions. Somebody who's actually a real big fan of chemistry. I do understand the importance of this. So this would be something extremely ugly that I would make, which makes no sense, but it kind of goes in towards the direction of how university kind of looks like. But yeah, let's just skip that. I think it's it's not worth mentioning. Okay, let's move on. Right, residential complex Petroglyph Park Stage 1, made by Gorbachev. Right, so this is residential complex Petroglyph Park, House 1. House 1 consists of 4 buildings. First one, 25-story building with 150 apartments, 300 workers. 9-story building with 54 apartments, 108 workers. 9-story corner building with 36 apartments, 72 workers. And 16-story building with 112 apartments and 224 workers. The whole complex is designed for 352 apartments. The building is modular, consists of 4 parts, but you can build it as you like independently to each other. This was done to the game mechanic, as the corner buildings did not allow buildings anything in the yard. The residential complex consists of 4 stages of construction. Stage 1, corner buildings. Number 2, variable number of stories, 25, 9, and 9, 16 for 352 apartments. Stage 2, corner building number 2 of variable number stories, 25, 16 for 246 apartments. Third stage is house number 3, 17 floors for 85 apartments. Stage 4, corner building number 4 for variable numbers of stories, 25 to 16 from 246 apartments. So technically what this is, I'm gonna show you. If you go to mods, if we go to residential buildings, why did I put this? There's so many buildings out there. Why did I choose these? Well, I have to tell you that I love, first of all, this is one of the most realistic mods that I saw that somebody is trying to build. This is the accurate amount of apartments, and you can rarely see this anymore. And also, these buildings are these buildings are kind of built that you can build it right next to each other, so kind of fits snugly, and technically you can make it look like it's a complex of buildings. Yes, realistic number of apartments and people living in there. This is what I like. First of all, it's not small. These buildings are not small, and I'm pretty sure they're not cheap, so I'm gonna just go and check price real quickly. 3,643 days. A lot of let me see, gravel, steel. That's interesting. This one doesn't require any prefab panels. That's a definite mistake. I think it should be a mistake. Right, and the other ones, they do require a lot of prefab panels, so that's definitely something. Yeah, I'm gonna point this out, that it doesn't require any prefab panels, but they are obviously made of prefab panels. Anyway, right, so first of all, that you can actually mold them and point them in any direction that you want. You can build them. You can see that some of the buildings, like this is a corner building, obviously, so you can make this corner building and then have one corner pointing in one direction, the other building pointing in one direction, and the other one in the other, and you can actually make a nice nice neighborhood with these buildings. I love it, and I'm definitely gonna be using these, maybe even in the series that we're using right now, if we're gonna be expanding some of the cities. This is realistic. This is how I like to play. This is what I definitely like, and I present to you Gorbachev's prefab panel Petroglyph Park buildings. Yeah, something that I will definitely be using myself. Okay, moving on. Okay, Distillery from Legend Gamer. Description in Russian, of course. There's the one in Russian if you wish to read it, and in English is. It turned out that there's practically no distilleries in the workshop, and those 2.5 stubs that have the wrong style, soapy model, and crooked configs. I'm fixing the situation. Distillery, based on my general impression of architecture of such structures, consumes crops, produces alcohol, requires 90 workers, twice as productive as vanilla. Yes, vanilla productivity of alcohol is quite not that good, so technically, wait, this is twice 10 tons of alcohol. Let's just check it one more time. Distillery. If I was a distillery, where would I be? Here we go. Yes, it's actually a little bit less, but it has 10 tons of alcohol production, but 27 tons of crops consumption. So technically, consumption dropped and the production skyrocketed. So yeah, and this is something that I agree with, that there's not a lot of mods of distilleries and alcohol production. You have breweries, you have mega breweries that are absolutely enormous, but some distilleries, they're not really that easy to find. And yeah, I'm really happy that this mod came out. I will be using this one as well. So, Biblioteca. Okay, so what is this? This is a library. Raytheon made quite few mods. This is kind of village library, something like that. This is not exact, but almost exact building in my little hometown. Extremely similar to this, how library looks like. I believe as cinemas, as entertainment industry in Workers and Resources, we don't have enough educational entertainment industries, like, you know, renting books and stuff like it is Biblioteca. You only have cinemas and stuff like that. I think this is something that I like, and definitely will be using these kind of things in the future. There was this North Korean library or Korean library that I used to use before, like a year ago or so, but this is something much better, especially because it looks like something from my hometown. Right, so Raytheon made several, I think it was like 8, 9, 10 different mods for these village buildings, and this is one of them. I only present this one just because it's a library and it serves as entertainment, as cinema. Let me just check if I can find it here in the cinema section. There we go. So this is the one. So you can find it in the cinema section, and this is definitely something I want to be using. He made a lot of other mods like gym and schools, I believe, kindergartens. So check it out. He has a lot of different mods. I just chose this one as they don't come in a set; they come individual, and you know, one mod presented. Raytheon, ladies and gentlemen. Description of the video. Okay. Cargo Tram, Dresden. Okay, bro, if you're gonna be using these signs, I can't really read your name, but I would say that it's Blue Pro. Blue Bro would be the name because it has, I think, sharp SS as a B there. So anyway, this is a tram that transports stuff. This is I'm gonna read the description of this. In real life, it's a tram for transportation of car parts in Dresden, Germany. In game, it can be found in a train depot costing you dollars. Yes, don't. I was looking for it and I didn't even check dollars, so I thought I didn't even install it. It's $104,000 power, 450 kilowatts, so 50 kilometers per hour. It's quite slow, and available year 2000. So it's a late game vehicle. That's it, that's the description. Now, this is something different. If you want to transport cargo within your city, for example, if you have in one side of the city you have one factory and other side of the city different factory, they can transport anything that you want, including livestock. Well, actually no meats because they're not refrigerated, which is also interesting. It's quite cool how it looks like. You actually have to design your own tram. So you have three parts to this tram. You have a locomotive, you have back locomotive, and you have as many cargo parts as you want, and then you can just put it like this. I'm gonna just quickly show you if I can. 1 second, let me see if I can sell this. There we go. And if I can get the bigger one outside to have a drive, so let's go and just do this real quickly, and we're gonna see the bigger one. So you can transport whatever you want. We had previously those electric trucks, kind of like trolley trucks. I made this review like a year ago or something. This is similar to that. You can build your own city infrastructure and then have these tram lines here like this, even though I don't believe that they're perfectly fully working and fixed. I don't want this to be like a tram line. Trams should be a little bit more versatile. But anyway, I'm not gonna dwell over that, so let's continue on. Just wanted to say that yes, we have Blue Bro made this mod. You have it in the description, check it out. It's really interesting stuff. Right, and last but not least, that would be Volga Bus. Volga Bus 5270, made by Admiral Mar Dennis. Okay, I'm gonna read a sentence or two about this. So it's Volzhanin. I'm sorry for I don't know these terms, but well, names of the companies. Volzhanin City Rhythm is a family of Russian urban low-floor buses produced by Volzhanin Bus Factory since 2005, developed on the basis of Volzhanin 5270 and Volzhanin 6270 buses. In 2012, the line was restyled. In 2012, a new modification of Volzhanin yeah, I'm pronouncing it well. Volzhanin bus was put into production 5270-2006 with a new design of body masks, shaft arrangement of the engine. In order to reduce the cost of the bus, the aluminium body covering was replaced with steel. They are operated in Volgograd, Volzhsk, Voronezh, Udomil, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Kursk, Noyabrsk. Okay, Lipetsk, Pevek, Perm, and other regions. Year of issue 2013 to 2017. Production Russia. Volga Bus. Maximum speed 120 kilometers per hour. Engine capacity. It's a MAN engine. D0836 LO64 6-cylinder diesel engine. Power 290 horsepower. Passengers 111. Three colors: white, green, blue, red, yellow, orange, metallic. Actually, I think there's more than that. There's a white one as well, and I think there's even more than that. Textures: Moskvortrans, Mostrans Auto, and St. Petersburg. Yeah, that could be the thing then, that they have additional textures. Impellers, working lights and stop signals. Model and texture does not claim to be realistic. Model author. It's Dennis and texture map Admiral Dennis. Yes, so this is something different, and also this is a late game vehicle. This is 2012. You can start purchasing these bad boys. Now, what's the difference between them and other buses? They are actually public transport buses, similar to trolley buses, and they are made for public transport. You know how you have extra entrances, while the yearly buses, they only have 2 entrances or 1 entrance, 1 exit. These actually have like proper city bus design, and I really like that. Yeah, I think this is really nice mod, and if I ever manage to get to 2012, I'm definitely gonna be using these bad boys for a public transport. But that's it. That's the last mod in this Mod Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. If you want to support the channel, you have the description how you can do that. Leave a comment in the comment section. What's your favorite? I'm still sticking to the Substation one. Substation is something that I'm going to be using on a everyday basis, and pad Substation, for me, I'm easily impressed, so this is my favorite. Anyway guys, let me know what you think, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.